when I think of Henry and Betty, like it makes my heart swell. How these two saw each other. You know, I think a big thing with Betty is like her family sees her one way, and then she's at Mode and she's trying to grow and change. And it's like Henry and Betty met at this moment where they were both crackling and they both wanted something more that they saw in each other. And I thought that you two together, and it was the acting and the chemistry, all of it was that magic thing you can't predict.
It was really great. Like, we were finding little things from the very beginning that just made it better, like made it more interesting. Like we're creating more of a relationship than was on the page initially, right? Because I don't think anybody knew what it was going to turn into.
Yeah.
Like, it was supposed to be 4 episodes, and that was the deal.
Right.
But we found, like, I remember, it must have been, what was the other episode? The
Swag.
Swag.
That's where you actually were, in the
She ran and didn't really notice him in that one. I remember she was in a hurry, and it was something about, like, she had to run in. It was about all the expense sheets.
Yeah.
And it was really, really quick.
Yeah.
But
there
is-
even in that, I saw you look at her and clock this person.
And she's like,
Right,
her breath is taken away.
And I
You
think
can
it
see
could be one of
happen.
those things you both just couldn't help it. Like there was just something that you can't write that happened there.
And it's that thing too, where, like, when you find, I mean, part of it is just the genius of America, because, she's game. Like, she's just there and willing to play.
Yeah.
And so when you're working with somebody who's willing to play, I mean, look at you guys, like, for Christ's sake, like it works, because then it's yes and you start building something that's not necessarily like in the words, but you start building a real relationship. Like, there was a scene, I don't remember what episode it was, where, like, at the end of the episode, we were catching somebody, and I come walking in behind Alan, and, like, with the whole, like, Alan Dale group.
Yes.
That was
the
probably
serious
Swag.
people.
It was probably Swag. Yeah, it was probably that
Wilhelmina's
episode.
Brazilian
Brazilian
butler.
butt
Was that
lift,
it?
and you were like, that's like you were looking at expense
Yeah.
reports or something.
$20,000
We
in
bust
Rio.
them or something. And I remember in the rehearsal, I had an idea, and it's my first episode, right? Like, I mean, but it's not my show. It's not most people probably rightly would just, like, do your job and just keep quiet and do your thing.
Not on this show.
But, like, I was like, oh, it'd be really cool if I, made a look and saw America, and if she saw, but I need her to react. So let me just go ask her. I was like, hey, I'm going to throw you this look of, like, like, we did it, and
Yes, I remember.
and she was like, oh, that's great. I love that. And it was totally just a moment that we put in.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of that. Like, there were so many moving parts on the show.
Yeah.
And everyone came with 20,000 ideas.